Okay, good morning. This morning I would like to present one of the randomized control trial. I think that's a little bit important, if even it is not a new one. It is already well known for a long time ago, but maybe it is to remind us whenever we find the case like this. As the background of this randomized control trial is that it is already almost understood among us that during primary percutaneous coronary intervention (PCI), manual thrombectomy may reduce distal embolization and thus improve microvascular perfusion. And a small trial have suggested that thrombectomy improve surrogate and clinical outcome, but a larger trial has reported conflicted result. So this clinical trial conducted due to the term that I have mentioned before. But before I continue to present this clinical trial, I would like to present a case in order that this presentation is not boring. So I would like to present this case, even it is not a primary BCE, but maybe it is interesting also. Okay, let me present the case. It is a male, 55 years of age, feel severe pain in the left chest for already several days. The patient also suffering from diabetes for a long time. So from the ECG tracing, I cannot find anything. It is the what we call non-significant ST changes in the ECG tracing. So I asked him to conduct angiography. Then he agreed at the time. Then it is the result, the angiographic finding. Can you see that in the LAD there is a significant stenosis in the mid part of the LAD and also in the ostial and proximal LAD. But in the mid LAD, it seems that there is a calcification. So we perform intervention, but at that time it is a problem actually during puncture because there is an anomaly in the right arm. So I perform this intervention from the left arm. It is from the radial, from the left radial. Then at that time I have decided to put to stand at least because it is a significant stenosis in the middle part of the LAD and also in the ostial part of the LAD, and there is a normal segment within both of that stenosis. So I put to stand. Okay, let play this video. Okay, like this. Then at that time I perform predilatation in the mid part of the LAD because there is a significant calcification, and I believe that it is very difficult to penetrate the lesion in the middle part of the LAD. I mean that to implant the stent. So I make preparation by predilatation with a balloon several times. Can you see that it is a little bit hard, the calcification. The balloon cannot inflate it completely. So we try to do for several times. Even I think that until the end it is not completely inflated fully. Then finally we put the stand in the mid part of the LAD. After protecting the diagonal because it is significant stenosis also in the ostial of diagonal. Okay. Then we conduct post dilatation in the mid part of the LAD, but you can see there is still not fully inflated in the mid part of the LAD. But we have to be satisfied with this result. The second step we do stenting in the proximal part of the LAD, protrude until to the left main because it is the really the stenosis until the ostial of the LAD. But because at that time I think there is no calcification, we do stenting without predilatation in the proximal part of the LAD until protruded little bit in the left main of the LAD. Then we do also post dilatation, and it is the result. I think that not quite bad. We have to be satisfied with the result. Okay, then let me continue this presenting this clinical trial. I would like to mention once more that it is already understandable among us that the primary percutaneous coronary intervention (PCI) with the manual thrombectomy may reduce distal embolization and thus improve microvascular function. Small trials have suggested that thrombectomy improve surrogate and clinical outcome, but a larger trial has reported conflicted results. So this clinical trial has been conducted just to prove this understanding, the old understanding. Okay, as you know that the objective of this clinical trial to report the clinical outcome of the manual thrombectomy prior to primary BGI compared to not thrombectomy before primary BGI. As you know that in this clinical trial, the study design is multi-center prospective randomized trial with the population patient refer for primary BGE within 12 hours after onset of symptom. And the endpoint of this clinical trial is composite cardiovascular death, remyocardial infarction, cardiogenic shock, or New York Heart Association class 4 heart failure within 180 days. And it is the method, as I have mentioned before, that 10,732 patient, but finally it is not become less because of the exclusion criteria. Uh, uh, so it has become only 1,069 patient with ST segment elevation myocardial infarction STEMI undergoing primary PCA to a strategy of routine upfront manual thrombectomy versus PCE alone. As I have mentioned, if I have mentioned before, that the primary outcome was a composite of death from cardiovascular causes, recurrent myocardial infarction, cardiogenic shock, or New York Heart Association class 4 heart failure within 180 days. Then we also examine as the secondary target to evaluate the accident of stroke within 30 days. It is the s- this diagram show the schema of this clinical trial that the two I mean the 10,063 patient divided into two group. The first one is conducted thrombectomy before primary PGI about 5,033, and without the thrombectomy prior to primary PGE it is about 5,030 patient. And the result is the primary endpoint that I have mentioned before. Sorry, the primary endpoint 100 in 130 days. You can see that in the thrombectomy only 6.9% to compare to no thrombectomy prior to primary PGE, it is 7%. Seems that there is no significant differences. It is just equal in the primary on endpoint between both of that group. You can see from this Erlenmeyer schema that the endpoint, including the primary endpoint, including cardiovascular death, myocardial infarction, and target vessel revascularization, it is just similar between both of that group, between the prior thrombectomy before primary BGE and also the group with directly primary BGE without thrombectomy. It is just similar. Okay, then but the stroke within 30 days, it is quite different. In the thrombectomy group prior to primary PGE, it is 0.7. It is wrong. Here it is wrong. The right one must be 0.7% to compare with No thrombectomy prior to primary PCI group, only 0.3%. So it is quite significant, the difference between both of that group in the accident of stroke within 30 days. So it is the result I have mentioned that the primary outcome occurred in 347 patients in the thrombectomy group to compare with the 351 patients in the PCI alone group without thrombectomy. It is quite similar, not having significant differences. And the rate of cardiovascular death, it is 3.1% in the thrombectomy group prior to primary PCI to compare to 3.5% with the PCI alone group. It is also quite similar. There is no significant differences. And in the primary outcome plus stent thrombosis or target vessel vascularization, it is occur on 9.9% in the thrombectomy group prior to PCI versus 9.8% in the non-thrombectomy prior to PCI. It is also quite similar. There is no significant differences. And it is the stroke within 30 days occur in 33%, 33 patient, I mean that's 0.7% in the thrombectomy group prior to primary PCI to compare to 16 patient, about 0.3% in the PCI alone group with the hazard ratio 2.06, 95% confident interval 1.13 to 3.75. So it is quite significant that the stroke uh, uh, with the high amount of accident in the thrombectomy group prior to PCI. As a conclusion of the clinical trial, in patients with ST elevation myocardial infarction who were undergoing primary PCI, routine manual thrombectomy as compared with PCI alone did not reduce the risk of cardiovascular death, recurrent myocardial infarction, cardiogenic shock, or New York Heart Association class for heart failure within 180 days, but was associated with an increased rate of stroke within 30 days. Okay, hoping that it is useful whenever we decided to perform thrombectomy prior to primary PCI. If it is not quite important, so maybe we are supposed not to do thrombectomy routinely before primary PCI. Thank you very much.